So, I'm going to be doing a review of a book that I've been wanting to read for ages. Like, literally, I have wanted to read this comic for fucking decades. And it's only getting harder and harder to find, but thankfully my good friend Chris, thank you once again for this book, came through for me, helped me find this comic, and hopefully we can find the other 2 volumes, because it's only a 3-volume set. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about Dracula, Company of Monsters. Dracula, Company of Monsters is a comic that I've been wanting to read because the premise sounded so damn cool. It's basically a comic that is Dracula has been resurrected in at that time modern era, present day, and by a company that plans to use him to unlock like dark secrets of sorcery and vampirism. Of course, Dracula's not into that and wants to ascend in his own right. So that's the crux of this book. Now, it's written by also a very prolific writer in comics, Kurt Busiek, who most of you guys would know best as like writing Astro City. He did an amazing run in Avengers. Sorry, my brain just stopped for a second. Yeah, this is basically a story that I've been wanting to read, but it's so like Boom Studios really has a problem with cycling things in print. This is one of them. So this is volume 1. Now this comic I think ran for 12 issues and only has 3 volumes. So I still got to find. Hopefully Chris can help me find the other 2 volumes. But yeah. So let's talk about this series. So the story is, like I said, about Dracula encountering a company that resurrects him and wants to use him. So, but however, in here, the main focus is a guy named Evan Barrington. And Evan Barrington is the son of a wealthy CEO. He's part of a very rich blue blood family of a company that is kind of teetering on, bankruptcy because the uncle, the current runner of the company, has basically been, throwing shit tons of money at a secret project. That secret project is finding and resurrecting Dracula because the dude's obsessed with magic and wants to use Dracula's power to give him eternal life and eternal wealth and things like that. He is basically like, yeah, I want everything. And Evan himself, Evan is basically, he's very nebbish. He's also he's always the first one to go, am I a coward for doing something like this? Yes, I am, but I care more about living. But however, it's easier said, as you can imagine, it's easier said than done to, control Count Dracula. What I love about it is that this is kind of the perfect, it's the best way to describe this comic is Succession if you threw Dracula in it. If you ever saw Succession, it's Succession with Dracula. Now, the one thing is that this is just the first 4 issues, and I gotta be honest, this does a lot for 4 issues. I don't know if that's just because of Busiek's writing and how how kinetic he can make storytelling. But yeah, it feels like for this maxi series, this the first 4 issues not just resurrect Dracula in a slow way, but also when he shows up, it's a big impact on the story. So that's what I really like about it, is that for the first 4 issues, it really does feel like it doesn't feel like the story is being rushed because it was part of a maxi series, but it still feels like it tells you a lot. But at the same time, it still feels like, yeah, we're doing a lot here. We're basically doing so much in so little time, and it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel, it doesn't really feel unwarranted. There's the word. I guess that's the closest word I could think of for this story. Now, the other major thing in here is that, Dracula, they really go into the mysticism of the vampire. They really go into Dracula, Vlad Tepes's history, and Busiek does his homework because I did look up some of this stuff that they bring up in the book, and it's oh, so that did happen. That's how it went, but there's a bit of a twist to it as well, a good old comic book twist to it as well. I don't know what it is also, but Busiek likes to really write Dracula. From what I understand is that there's at least 2 other Dracula novels that he's written, and I think a third one that is coming out later this year, the start of a trilogy. No, wait, that's Matt Wagner. Sorry. All in all, this is a great story of mixing Dracula in the New World and kind of playing everyone thinks that he's the prisoner when really it's like that old Rorschach line, "I'm not stuck in here with you. You're trapped in here with me." Just apply that to Dracula and a blood-sucking company of its own right, and you have an amazing story. I love this comic. I really want to get the next 2 volumes. I really want to complete the set because this is a comic I've been dying to read, no pun intended, and I have been wanting to read this book for so long. And thank you, Chris, for finding it. Thank you so much for finding this. I really want to read the next 2 volumes because this is a comic I've been dying to read, again, no pun intended, for so long. And it always escaped my grasp in one way or another. But there you go, guys. Highly recommend. If you love Dracula and want to see like a cool spin on him, here you go. So there you go, guys. That is my review of Dracula Company of Monsters, Volume 1. If you've somehow read the book, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.